for the first blood in that one. Something tells me that they won't do the same today.
No, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. Well, here you go. This time they're playing defensive. We do see the job and flag toss coming out, revealing Peke, and he's pretty much just going to dance there and say, yeah, I know you're there. You know I'm here. What you're going to do about it. What we do see, though, is that the Dragonborns have already indicated they want to do the lane swap. They're going to try and put their Kale and Misfortune combo up in the top lane to deal with Soaz's Jace. He's going to have a little bit of an easier time CSing, both under the tower and from range, because he has range, whereas Yamato Cannon is going to be trying to do the best that he can to survive. And it does look like a recall's coming in very soon.
Yeah, I think Fnatic actually in the end have decided, you know what, we don't want that to happen. We're going to send Jace towards that bottom lane here as they all start to go up the middle. Zyra is on the top side of the jungle as well. So both AD carries and support's going to be in the top lane by the looks of things, with Dragonborns having the start here on the big goblins.
So we do see Xpeke helping out as well on those raid camp. It looks like he's moving out of experience range, so doesn't even look like he's going to steal some of that. Jace is going to be helping out on this red buff, and you can see that both Enrated and Yellowstar getting the wolf camp just to help even out that difference of the double golems that Hosan and Nuva have been able to pick up. So, interesting decision here from Fnatic. There were some very, very strong words from Soaz on his Facebook page yesterday saying, I don't know why we did that 1v2. A couple of expletives in there and saying he doesn't like it, and you know, being very strongly worded, let's put it that way. So, I think this is definitely him going, I don't want a 1v2, I want a duel, I want to go 1v1, and we'll see how it plays out.
Well, we will see how it plays out, and that's exactly the wish that he's going to get from this one. Going head-to-head against Malphite, and there we see Hosan's early aggression coming out. Yellowstar taking a lot of damage. Actually, the Grastion Root did land onto Moovat there, but he will walk away. Lots of damage early in that top lane.
Yeah, these teams are riding a knife edge, but there's one thing we have to point out. Both Yellowstar as well as two other members of Fnatic have that red pot. Elixir of Fortitudes are there, so they're going to have that plus 15 AD and give or take 130 to 150 HP at this low level if they go aggressive. We do see Maluno sniffing around the bottom lane. Soaz is going to get caught.
Yeah, they want to go in, don't quite get the knock up, but there's a lot of damage coming in. Soaz, though, will pop that Elixir there. We saw his health just getting that boost there, and that's exactly why it is so useful, not just because of the extra stats that you get from it, but that little boost of safety in your HP.
And he saved his summoner spell as well, so he still has flash available. Grasping Roots go out by Enrated, doesn't catch anybody, which means Cyanide cannot come in for the gank, and you can actually see a red ping there on Cyanide's position. There's no vision from Dragonborns, but knowing how this works, they knew he's dead. Peke's been jumped on.
Yeah, Shushe going in for this one, but it looks like Peke might have the better of him here. The Void Spikes come out. There's a flashback. It's very close, but Shushe gets the first blood. What a turn of events there in the middle. All the summoners were used. Great first blood.
Peke had no energy. He couldn't use his ability, so he couldn't get first blood. They traded flashes back and forth. There was a glimmer of light, and the insect stood on the ninja and picked up that first blood kill. So well played by Shushe. He's going to go back, pick up some item advantage, and not only did he get that, you know, very early strong performance, that was on top of the Elixir of Fortitude. So he bursted through that additional HP that Peke had. Well played, Shushe, and we'll see if he can take control of this lane with an additional longsword.
One thing, of course, that we don't talk about too much anymore is the fact that Shushe won Season 1 with Fnatic, so he got a bit of a grudge to settle in this one as well, as we are seeing Hosan going aggressive again onto Yellowstar. Got to be careful against this setup, though, especially until Kale hits that level 6, because the Grasping Roots can mean the end very quickly.
Yeah, as soon as you get caught out, Twitch is a deceptive amount of damage at early levels with that expunge. If you can get a couple of stacks up, it hits really, really hard. I do see that in terms of that Divine Blessing, it hasn't been leveled up. I want to see what Moovat is leveling up, and he's got 1 point into each of his abilities. I want to see what the focus is. But before we get to that, Cyanide is sniffing around this top lane. If a Grasping Roots doesn't land, I don't expect him to go in, but he is actually going in now.
Yeah, Hosan actually comes around. There's a flash away. Exhaust comes down onto Cyanide. The Fear Tether not quite going the way they wanted. His Yellowstar is actually really low in there. Hosan not got any mana left whatsoever right now, as Xpeke was in trouble again in that middle lane. They forced him out of lane once again, and he is now burning through pots just to try and stay there and get some farm.
So a good actual gank there from Cyanide in the top lane. He manages to get the flash and the exhaust out of his opponent. So Hosan is left with only barrier as far as that summoner spell is concerned. And like we said, get caught by a root, and that's it. You're going to get plucked like a weed. But we do see Yellowstar taking a lot of damage there and forced a little bit backwards out of that lane. Rosman's gotten again. That was just tentative. And Moovat, he wants blood here.
Yeah, going straight in there south towards Yellowstar, and just his presence really forcing that Fnatic duo lane to back away from things. Yellow Star was quite low, as we've seen Soaz here going in towards Yamato Cannon. And Shard just slowing him right down. But I see maybe a sign of things to come in that bottom lane. Soaz right now does have a healthy CS lead on him. Malphite forced to go in for that Doran shield at the start to give him that extra protection. Tia picked up early for Soaz though.
That synergizes really well with Malphite's kit. The armor, the health, the HP regen, it literally stacks with everything. Soaz has gone quite aggressive onto Yamato, simply sidesteps the knock-up and says, no, not today, bro. And is not afraid of this fight at all. He might win this.
Yeah, goes through the acceleration gate. I said the shock blast as well. And Maluno's like, cheers, Yamato. Came down to help. Now I've got half HP and I might have to go back. There's Shushay jumping onto Peke. Peke going for the same here. And we are going to see a lot of damage coming down onto Shushay, but not enough to finish him.
So a little bit of a mistake there from Shushay. He could have optimized his survival there by waiting on his ultimate, going invisible, getting the damage reduction as the mark was about to pop. But he actually did it before. So the effect wore off and he took the full damage from the death mark. But nevertheless, it secured what Peke wanted it to do. It forced him out of the lane. It pushed him back and it allows Peke to just take a couple extra CS and try to get a little bit of a gold lead. What we did see a moment or two earlier was that Yellow Star and Enrated backed in that top lane to be the first buy. And because we see that Yellow Star's a little bit behind in CS, he doesn't have that additional Vamp Scepter that Misfortune has. And that's a big, big, big difference in attack damage right now.
There's movement coming up. They know that Cyanide... Actually, that was a blue ping on Cyanide's position. Actually put the pink ward down and cleared out, so they definitely do know that he was there. So we'll see. Most likely they're not going too aggressive for now. Ward will spot him backing away towards that middle lane. So let's take a look after 7 minutes 40 seconds here. There's a 400 gold lead coming out of Dragonborns. Obviously that first blood in for Shushay, really helping out things here as well. Not quite the bad start that Fnatic had yesterday against Evil Geniuses though.
No, not quite, but they did give up first blood and then went on to lose. So maybe it's a bit too early to be saying that right now, but we'll see how it plays out. What I do like now, Yellow Star, realizing he's a little bit under pressure, is now coming to the mid lane. There's no death mark available, but they're picking this fight with Shushay.
Let's see if they can get in there. He is going to be invisible as he pops up. There is the flash coming down. Can he get the finisher? Yes, he can. Spraying and praying, and it gets them the kill, and that's the danger of the Twitch. I mean, they'd obviously not called that he was gone, or they thought he'd gone out of lane in terms of a recall back to base. Great play out of Yellow Star. Yeah, great coordination. They got all the damage down. Picker's in a little bit of trouble, but he's just going to use that clone to hop, skip, and jump to safety. And then we see Yellow Star returning to lane. Because he started with that red pot, he invested money into those potions and that, temporary buff. He's actually behind a full Vamp Scepter as far as damage is concerned. But with the kill that he's picked up, he's decided to prioritize those Berserker's Greaves instead of evening out on damage. What it immediately tells you is Yellow Star's not looking to out-trade and battle with Hosan. He wants to be mobile, he wants to gank, and he wants to kite. And that's why he's going to be playing with the sneaky Invisible Rat. Yeah, and already that working out nicely as he visits that middle lane. Now we see Shushay going to be taking the blue buff here. As he goes back in up against Peke. We'll see if Cyanide is going to be so kind. Doesn't look like it though. Cyanide going to have that for himself. So he's got that blue buff. It's just going to let him, really spam his abilities. And the fact that he's level 6 as well means that his paranoia cooldown is going to be significantly less. At rank 1, it's 144 seconds. So with, some cooldown reduction in there on that blue buff, it's obviously going to help him out just a little bit. There's some pressure up in the top lane, but you could actually see in the minimap, Maluno was showing his face there to expect his Z. So a good start by Dragonborns overall, getting that first blood and CSing relatively well. But thanks to that range that Soaz's Jace has in the bottom lane or the solo lane, he's pulling further ahead of Yamato Cannon. Well, we can see that Malphite already starting to be very, very tanky here with Yamato Cannon. And got that Giant's Belt in along with that Doran shield from earlier. Hosan and Move It just kind of back away and take themselves the golems. Want every little last advantage that they can get from this one. And to be honest, Hosan does have that lead in CS over Yellow Star. He's just pushed that wave out, and he, with that, is 14 CS behind. Should be able to go back home here in a second and buy up once again though. Yeah, so he's going to spend a little bit more money. We haven't seen too much back and forth between those in the last minute or so, but in the early game exchanges, it was extremely aggressive, and both teams just prioritizing the poke and the focus over last hitting and CSing. Taking a look at Muvert's Kale, he's definitely maxing out that heal, the Divine Blessing, over his
other abilities, which is to be expected. And with that intervention is available, if anybody does get in trouble, he's just going to buy them those couple extra seconds of life.
Yeah, and so as you know, he's a mean force with Jace. He was really the first one that brought that Jace out against Curse at Gamescom last year during the Season 2 European Championship. So, you know, his history goes right back to pretty much day one of Jace competitively. Certainly a champion which we've not seen him pull out all that much in the LCS so far as he goes in there onto Yamato Cannon. But there is Maluno coming in from the backside. Has he gone too far in this one? The acceleration gate is down, but there is Cataclysm. The flash going to be used, but Yamato Cannon flashes in there as well. Maluno hammers down for the kill.
Such great coordination from Maluno and from Yamato Cannon. Good patience from Soaz, not burning his flash early. Xpeke gets dived on by Shushe, but uses that shadow of his to dive to safety. And another kill for Dragonborn. So this is what we've seen out of them yesterday. When they did make the plays, when they did make aggressive movements on the map, it was coordinated, it was well timed, and it worked. So advantage Dragonborns right now with that gold lead and kill lead.
And I have to apologize to Soaz there, giving him that good old commentator's curse as I talk about him.
Scumbag stat man.
Ends up dying in the lane. So sorry for that one, Soaz. But Dragonborn's leading here, healthy 400 gold plus that extra kill coming in onto the jungle. That's going to help them overall. There's a giant spell. Obviously is there for Malphite, but the chain vest coming in as well. He's going to be headed up towards that Sunfire Cape, which today I remembered its name.
Well done, well done. You know, what I want to see from Yamato Cannon is how he plays the split push, because yesterday he wasn't around against Gambit when he needed to be. He was trying to split push with Zed, he was trying to farm and play the map, but his presence and his damage was really, really needed in that matchup. So I'm hoping they've learned from some of the mistakes yesterday, and Yamato's going to be more of a presence on the map, especially with that heavy engaged team that they have right now. Maluno is sniffing around in this top lane, and Yellow Star and Rated, they're kind of signaling they want to pick a fight, but Maluno's right here.
Yeah, they're going to try and get in, and Rated will flash away. Actually, will manage to land the Stranglehold Thorns there, which knocked Maluno up into a Yellow Star, put the damage down. That'll be enough to force Maluno away, but Zyra without that flash in there, got no boots either, so that's going to be a prime target for Dragonborn.
Yeah, definitely. Cataclysm's going to come up soon as well. Pekka's gone into Shushe.
Wow, he's gone straight in there on that one. Shushe actually picked that fight, but look at the damage coming in. Ignite is ticking away as well. One more, no, he just about gets away until Cyanide pops a Paranoia and they get the kill.
Up in the top lane, the fight's not over.
Oh, there is, wow, a last second ultimate coming out of Mover. That's going to save Hosan for now. The poison not ticking away to be able to get the kill. And again, clutch play coming out right at the very last second from Mover.
And that is exactly what we were talking about, the power of that intervention, using the ultimate just to save the life of Hosan, but he did save it, and that is what matters. Hosan maintains that 20 CS advantage in the top lane, uses bullet time just to back away safely and lose less by obviously shoving that wave out and remaining even. In the mid lane, it was a very good trade for Xpeke. With the damage items that he had, he actually popped Shushe in that 1v1 pretty much completely, and it was just that last tick of damage that Cyanide landed to actually pick up the killing blow.
Yeah, nicely done. Dragonborn's here going to look to force Yellow Star and N-Rated away. And that Vamp Scepter is really going to help out Hosan, not to mention the heal coming out of Kayle as well. We've not really touched on that one, but obviously that gives Hosan and Mover a lot more sustain in that lane.
So it's a fairly healthy heal. It's at rank 4 right now for Kayle, 195 hit points on about a 15-second cooldown. So it's helpful, but it's very similar to Taric in many ways. He has some sustain, but he's not known as a sustained support, so to speak. So he's there for primarily a lot of the additional things he offers. The attack damage, the ranged poke, the intervention, and obviously helping Hosan out just to get a good channel on those bullet times when the team fights occur. For the time being, the first tower goes down. It's Fnatic securing it in that top lane. They've been a little bit more aggressive against the counterparts when they have been in lane, because N-Rated's trying to land those roots and actually pick up some kills.
Oh, Hosan going in on towards N-Rated with this one. N-Rated actually got no mana here, and Hosan chunking him down. The double up not going to be enough to finish off the kill. Well, he doesn't want to go completely aggressive on that one as Cyanide headed to bottom.
He is sitting there right now. Yamato gets knocked back, and here's the fight.
This could be bad news for Dragonborns, but Maluno comes in from the side. Can they lock down Cyanide? Yes, they can. The Unstoppable Force was in there as well. They managed to get both of them with that. Unfortunately, not locking up that second kill, but here is Hosan and Yellow Star going head head-to-head in the top lane. Yellowstar wins that one pretty convincingly.
Enrated played a very good bait in that top lane. He was waiting for Hosan to go aggressive, knowing that he would. And after Hosan jumps in there, they trade 1-for-1 in terms of kills. But Dragonborns, because of the kill in the bottom lane and the superior positioning, they're going to pick themselves up a dragon. And that's a good play. You trade even on kills, but get team gold at 975. Obviously, the advantage is for you.
Except they lost the middle tower as well there with XPK pulling that one off. He even managed to zip over onto the Wraiths to steal away that little bit extra.
Nick the Wraith cap.
And that leaves us at 2 for 0 in turrets for Fnatic. Obviously, the outer turrets in the top and the middle lane. And that translates at this point to a around about 1,500 gold lead for Fnatic. If you look down there individually, XPK, despite a lot of early pressure that he faced out of Shushay and Maluno, is ahead right now by a good 800 gold. And talking about that pressure, you know, he's still done a very good job in terms of CSing. So
Shushay, after getting first blood, wasn't able to stamp an authority on the lane. He picked up that advantage, but he didn't continually convert it or you know, keep XPK on the back foot. And Peke, as you've seen in those last trades, is actually 1 out. Enrated right now has got a pink ward in this bush, so he knows that there's no vision from Dragonborns. And Mover can already sniff it. Very, very cheeky ward. Just lands on Enrated's head, and he's just going to stand there saying, yeah, I'm aware of this.
Just having a dance.
I know that's there. But obviously he's got the pink, and he's just going to clear it out instantly. And it's heartbreaking when you lose a ward that way.
There's Yellowstar as well. Mover is coming in on top of him. The ward put down as well, so that's 2 wards that I'm not sure they're going to clear that second one out. But Fnatic here looking like they may want to get this turret away.
Now looking like they want to push it, but Shushay, after he almost gets hit by that shockwave, decides to just go aggressive, clear the wave out as quickly as possible. Cyanide is up in the top lane. He's going to go toe-to-toe with Yumarican. There's a 2-level difference. He spell shields the slow though.
Yeah, spell shields that slow, and he's just going to be walking away from that one. Nice reactions from Cyanide. Well, Yamato Cannon just trying to stamp his authority on Silent and say, I've got that Sunfire cape in there, got a little bit of armor as well, extra from that cloth armor, and I got my boots in case I need to run away or chase you. However, he doesn't want to overstay his welcome here because we are going to see Jace coming in, but you can see the damage already that he's able to put onto someone like Cyanide.
Cyanide's hanging around. He was trying to actually bait out and engage there just a little bit. He was hoping for the unstoppable force and then was thinking, I can just run to safety and let Soaz clean up. But that's a very, very beefy Yamato Cannon. Roughly 2,400 hit points with that Granite Shield active. In comparison to about the 1,900 or so hit points of Soaz, it's going to take a while for Soaz to chunk it down. And he's decided to go for that Black Cleaver as his first item. Going to go for that Armor Shred. It's a slightly interesting pickup because with... Oh, they've got on Shushay.
Yeah, Shushay here going to be in a little bit of trouble. Let's see if he can get finished off there. Not quite, as Maluno is going to lock down XPK, but for how long? XPK actually standing and trading with him a little bit there. Shushay did come to back up, but of course didn't want to get too involved. Of course, Peke, with the right cooldowns, and if he'd had that energy back, could have probably got in again on him.
Yeah, Peke, he didn't have the energy, and that was the only reason he couldn't pick up that kill onto Shushay. But well played by Maluno. What ends up happening as well is that Cataclysm is now down for effectively nothing, and it just means Maluno's ganking power is a little bit weaker. Yellowstar slowed Hosan, but the Ruskin missed Moose there.
Hosan gonna get ulted onto here as the ultimate comes out from Nocturne as well. This could be 2 kills right here for Fnatic, and it will be. Teleport coming down though. It's a double kill for the Rat. Yamato Cannon gets rooted up on his impact there into the lane, and now they're gonna try and turn it around. There is the unstoppable force used on towards XPK. Are they gonna go in fully for this one? This is dangerous as Shushay comes around. The barrier used out. Shushay going very low. Maluno coming in. Flashes used by both Enrated and Yellowstar to get away. In the end, it's a 2-0 in favor of Fnatic.
Crazy, crazy fight, and Enrated landing the Blah roots at the end of the fight, and that's really what mattered. Maluno and Shushay both burning their flashes to effectively do nothing. He's still hanging around on the side, and Shushay's going to be careful. He's jumped back in.
Yeah, but he's missed actually on towards XPK there. The Ignite went down. Now they turn in on towards Maluno. The ulti's going to pop in a second here. Is it going to be enough to get the finishing kill for them? Cyanide still chasing down, but here comes Hosan. It's the never-ending story here in the bottom lane as Misfortune struts away into range. Is he going to get the kill? Yes, he will. Cyanide goes down.
Cyanide taking one for the team, deciding to pull Hosan away to the side. I wonder if he could have actually managed to get away if he carried on running. But nevertheless, they got the top inner turret as well as the bottom turret in exchange for that 2-for-1 at the end of the day. They lost 1, picked up 2 themselves. Fnatic will be happy with the trade. They've extended that gold lead a good amount thanks to the craziness that ensued. and it was very, very well played overall. Have to mention N-Rated's roots. He landed so many moments that literally locked down Dragonborns and prevented them from dealing the amount of damage they really wanted to.
Yeah, I expected straight after that teleport that the unstoppable force would come down, and that could have got very bad for Fnatic, but no, he's just held in place as soon as he lands into the lane. So, Shuche here going to be going about picking up that blue buff. If we look at the CS now, he's starting to really get out of hand between him and Xpeke. 165 to 230 right now.
It's something that Peke does very well with Zed is farming those Wraith camps, both of his opponents and his own. If you watch any of his streams or any of his Zed matches, he does it all the time. As soon as that tower is being pushed, he'll steal away his enemy Wraiths, or if his tower is not at any danger of being taken down, he'll finish up his Wraith camp as well. So it's a little deceptive in saying that the gold count is completely even, but nevertheless he's got a good advantage. Bloodthirster completed as well as that Brutalizer and the makings of a Last Whisper. The story right now for Fnatic is Twitch. 4-0, he's 15 CS behind, but that is a very, very powerful rat. And he's solo pushing this bottom lane because Dragonborns, they know where the enemy are. They know they were stacked in the middle, and Yellowstar's just got free farm and free pressure.
Yeah, he is going to keep pushing this one down. Hosan is going to come across here to cover up and soak up that CS. Doesn't want to be losing that at this stage of things and losing the advantage that he's nicely built up in terms of that CS, especially when you factor in the fact that he's 4-0 behind. Has to do that as Fnatic start Baron.
Soaz is going to play a little bit of interference here. He ran into the jungle as soon as Dragon got started. So he knew where the members of Dragonborns were, and he literally just said, hey, look at me, I'm sort of on your side of the territory. Makes him think Yellowstar's going in for this. He wants it.
He's going to go straight in on top of Hosan. Who's going to win this one? Spray and Pray comes in. Cyanide joins the fight as Yellowstar already locks up that kill. Yellowstar now unstoppable at 5-0-0. This turret is not going to last long with that amount of Fnatic players hammering away on it. Yamato Cannon did come in from the side, but he was pretty much alone there with just Kale for backup. They decide to leave it, and that's a second inner turret gone for Dragonborns.
5 towers to 0 right now. Fnatic are, as we said at the beginning of the game, are in map control, and this is what Dragonborns need to figure out how to counter. They need to either group up as 5 and force towers, or force the fights, because what happened there is they tried to go for mid lane and sort of went, well, we don't really know, do we want to go, do we not want to go? And Fnatic said, just push bottom, just go for it, and they managed to make it work. So Dragonborns, if you're stacked up and you can push 1 or 2 towers down, do it. You may lose an inner, but you'll get that map presence back of your opponent's side of the jungle.
So, right now, things are going to slow down as Fnatic went back to buy up a little bit. We see Twitch, Bloodthirster, Zeal, Last Whisper. Pretty similar to what we've got with Zed right now, actually. Bloodthirster, Last Whisper, got that Brutalizer in there as well. There's a Black Cleaver with Jace. So, we talked before we started about this one. There's no real big tank in there for Fnatic, but there is a lot of damage. Yeah,
that's the thing. It comes down to who gets that first pick. If either team gets an early kill, that team's going to win the team fight because they've got so many damage threats and so many damage sources. Fnatic are stacked up here as 4, but you've got Yamato Cannon sniffing around from the side. He wants to jump in, but he's been completely zoned out by N-Rated. N-Rated's used his ultimate for that.
Yeah, gonna get knocked up there on by N-Rated. He's down to half HP just from that little bit of action there. So not sure that Fnatic will be too upset with that one as the acceleration gate goes down. There's a shot blast coming through. Didn't quite have the range to connect on Shuche, but Fnatic are pushing up this middle lane.
So with the usage of that ultimate from N-Rated Zyra, that's their clear line of initiation. You can have Nocturne and Zed diving in there, but that's a very risky play because if they don't get the kill thanks to intervention, cheeky smite there, if they don't get the kill thanks to intervention, then they're going to be in and amongst 5 members of Dragonborns. They don't have that clear tank initiator like Malphite or Jarvan on their side. And it just means Fnatic really needs to pick their battles wisely, because if they don't, they could lose it quite clearly.
Well, right now they're doing a good job of farming their way through. 212 to 188 is the difference between Jace and Malphite at this stage. Yellowstar, of course, we don't really need to touch on his CS. It's the kills that are making the difference there at 5-0-0 compared to a 1-3-0 Misfortune. We've seen that that battle is very much one-sided when they go head-to-head.
And if he does go down, that's going to be a very big bounty gold going over to his opponents, which Dragonborns are definitely looking forward to actually picking up. Something I was touching on with Jace's Black Cleaver, it's not a traditional pickup because he can't quickly stack a lot of those Black Cleaver armor shreds. He does have AoE damage, which will shred from multiple targets at least once, but you know, you tend to have fast auto attackers, a lot of AoE, you know, a lot of spells that can do it. Peke, he wants to maybe pick a fight with Yamato, but that's a lot of armor. That's a lot of armor and health to get through.
It's like, if anyone else would have been there, I would have gone in for that one.
So the rest of Fnatic?
Yeah, and that's the counter to, you know, that big armored up Rock is bringing the entire team down to see if he can have a go at Yamato Cannon. We are going to see Xpeke going in there first. Jace is coming around the side. There's the shock blast. It will connect. Are they going to knock him away? Yes, they will. He's pinged around and will be finished off in the end by Xpeke. Nice play from Fnatic.
Xpeke on Zed did a lot of damage in that engagement. He chunked through 50% of Malphite with that Warden's Mail, Giant's Belt, and Sunfire Cape, and a lot of that is because of the double stacking of that Brutalizer and that Last Whisper. It's going to shred a huge chunk of that armor. So, well played. They pick up the kill. This is something we've seen Fnatic do against a number of teams when they played SK a couple of weeks ago. They just camped Kevin over and over and over and picked up kills, and Kevin singed over and over and over. And if Yamato Cannon is alone in those lanes, they will do the same again, because it means they can take any objective they want in a 5v4 situation.
Yeah, take that big tank out of it and things can get a lot easier. That Last Whisper, as you said, doing the work. They've got 2 of them in there, plus the Black Cleavers as well, and the Brutalizer. It's a really great position that Fnatic have worked themselves into at this point. They're around about a 6,000 gold lead up until now, so you know, things all going to plan. They had that loss against Evil Geniuses yesterday. We wondered if that was going to shake them up. Dragonborns, again, they don't look bad here in this game, but you can see who's the more experienced and really coordinated team right now, at least till this point.
No, you're 100% right. Fnatic are in control of the tempo, and Dragonborns are looking to make a play to take that back. You can see with that Oracle's Elixir movement, clearing out wards around Baron, they're actually pulling Fnatic towards them. This is Dragonborn saying, look, we want to fight on our terms. We want to arrest control back from their opponents, and they were trying to do something around Baron, but they're not 100% sure on what they want to do. So once Fnatic showed up, they sort of went, oh, okay, hang on a second, we're not quite sure about this, and they start to back away. But nevertheless, it's what they need to do to balance this game back out, is force engagements on their terms, pick fights where they're comfortable to have those fights being picked, and not right now while Hosan is miles away in that top lane.
Well, he's headed down now, and they've cleared out a good amount of wards. Enrated did just come around through another ward in there, managed to land the grasping roots, but Dragonborns do have the positioning here on Baron. Question is, will they be in a position to really start it off? And with Xpeke pushing that middle lane, it looks like the answer to that one is in fact going to be no. But Xpeke now in a bit of no man's land. He's going to have to get himself quickly away as he possibly can. And look at the damage there coming out onto Hosan, but they are managing to track Xpeke down. The flag was already thrown by Maluno, so he can't use that to get in. Meanwhile, at the backside, they've actually started fighting here against Yamato Cannon. Fnatic coming split into this one. Zed going to join the fight again. Looks like Fnatic want to get in on the fight here. Yamato Cannon attack almost taken down. The rest of the team going to be destroyed here. That's a double kill, a triple kill, a quadra kill coming out for Jace. Can they get over and get the Penta? Do they care about the Penta? They've got an open base with a 30-second spawn on Yamato Cannon right now. They're going to take 2 inhibitor turrets, and imagine both inhibitors will fall along with that as well.
With 20 seconds on the clock, they may even decide to carry on for the win. They have minions in the middle lane, they have minions in the bottom lane, and that was Fnatic decimating the Dragonborns. Xpeke used his death mark on the tank. He used that on Yamato Cannon and dropped his hit points to 0. Fnatic are going to pick up a victory here, 11-4. They're going to focus down the Nexus.